is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Minnesota.
A drive to right field. Going back and gone. How about that? Oswaldo Arcia's third of the year and his second walk-off hit of the season.
And it couldn't have come at a better time as the Twins delete the memory of a marathon loss in Washington, D.C. and move a game above the 500 mark at home. Arcia sizzling last night. He needs to warm up again on a chilly evening at Target Field. He's accounted for the Twins' only 2 walk-off wins so far. Twins return to Target Field again tonight, where they hope to secure another series win. It's game 2 with the Tribe in downtown Minneapolis. Tonight, headliners Cody Anderson, who's had the Twins number in his last 2 starts. Ricky Nolasco returns for the Twins, who's been the most pleasant surprise for the starting staff early on, most consistent starter as well. We welcome you to Twins baseball on Fox Sports North. They say patience is a virtue. That holds true in baseball as well. And Jack Morris, the Twins have been incredibly patient with Oswaldo Arcia, and it appears to be paying off.
Well, it was really nice to see that Oswaldo made the ball club in spring training, due in part that he has some kind of power from the left side. And the Twins have 6 wins this year. He's got 3 game-winning RBIs, 2 home runs, and a base hit to left off the Angels. And it's just fun to see because he's a very emotional guy, to quote Paul Molitor. He loves to play the game. He loves attention, and he's getting it all the time when he has these kind of big hits. It was a great hit last night, that one right there off Zach McAllister to win the game against Cleveland. And the celebration begins, but I think that it's a cautious celebration because this ball club is so off to a slow start, but it was a good sign last night.
A well-timed win. Still to come, Dick and Bert examine the consistency of Ricky Nolasco, the Twins' top starter to open the season. What's been different about him this year?
Twins baseball on Fox Sports North is presented by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By Jeep. Visit Jeep.com to learn more. And by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine for the everyday competitor in all of us. It's another cool night at Target Field, but when you win baseball games, the temperature doesn't matter, and that's what the Twins hope they'll do again here tonight behind starter Ricky Nolasco, who's off to the best start in a Twins uniform so far. And we welcome you to Target Field. Dick and Bert with you for Game 2 with the Cleveland Indians, and Ricky Nolasco had 2 very disappointing years with the Minnesota Twins, but so far he's been the closest thing they've had to an ace.
Yeah, what you want your starter to do in today's game, get into at least the 7th inning. In all 3 starts, Ricky Nolasco has been able to do that. 1-0, very good earned run average. But what's the difference this year between the last couple years for Nolasco? Well, he's healthy. That's the main thing. But he's also using all his pitches. A fastball that has some movement on it, the big curveball, he likes the slider. And as we look at this chart, which I love charts, 46.3% fastballs, and then you have the slider, the curveball, and the split finger he uses as a changeup. So thank you very much for the charts, and let's win a ball game.
3 good starts in a row for Ricky Nolasco, and in this series 2 of the best young players who weren't even with their major league clubs a year ago. Miguel Sano, Francisco Lindor, and others in Game 2. Oswaldo Arcia has provided 2 walk-off hits. Of course, the Twins have been walked off, and yeah, a 4-5 record in 9 games already this year, where the game itself has been decided in the winning team's last at bat.
Yeah, I remember early on a lot of close ball games, and yeah, the first 9 did not go to Twins' way, but there was some good baseball.
Marty Kellner, Bert Blylev, and Dick Bramer here. It is a cloudy and cool night, but no precipitation tonight. Tomorrow we're not so sure. And Terry Francona, of course, going back to his Boston days. has a winning record against the Minnesota Twins. The Menards batting order for the Indians: Carlos Santana will be the leadoff man. Then Jason Kipnis, Francisco Lindor, Michael Brantley, Mike Napoli, Yan Gomes, Lonnie Chisenhall, Juan Uribe, and Tyler Naquin.
And 33-year-old Ricky Nolasco on the mound tonight, making his 4th start. 2 of his 3 previous starts are quality starts, 6 innings, 3 earned runs or less. And against the Indians, making his 6th career start against the Indians.
Northland Ford defense for the Twins. Eddie Rosario back in the lineup in left field. Danny Santana in center. Oswaldo Arcia getting right field, with Miguel Sano moving back to the infield. Second game at third base. Escobar, Dozier up the middle, Bauer at first, and Suzuki behind the plate. Had a couple of plays to make in DC when he was moved back to the infield, made them. The impression he gave those of us watching him, even when the ball was not hit at him, he just really enjoyed being over there, felt comfortable at third base. And up and away.
Well, we talked about Sano before. As you look at the umpires behind home plate, Doug Eddings, and the rest of the crew. Jeff Nelson, the crew chief.
And a pop-up wide of first. Bauer tracking it. Dozier's over there, and it's about 5 rows back. 2-1.
We talked about Sano at third base. You know, he'll keep a close eye on Gene Glenn, who's right there by Paul Molitor. He will move him where he feels that he should be playing. So we'll keep an eye on him, as he does with Butch Davis when he's in right field, the other coach.
2-1 to Carlos Santana. Outside 3-1. Santana off to a slow start this year, and kind of a surprise choice as a leadoff man, but he draws a lot of walks. Fouled away, and it's 3-2. Santana's hitting the leadoff spot before, and now with 2 strikes, as we have seen Trevor Plouffe do so often, Sano gets some exercise and moves to the right side of second base. And the ball hit in the air towards Sano, and it is Dozier who calls him off and makes the catch 1 away. Sano went back, and Dozier called him off. And he'll retreat to his third base position for the Jason Kipnis at bat.
Yeah, Nolasco's done a good job of throwing the ball over the plate. Only 3 walks in 21 innings pitched. So he's making the opponent hit the ball, put it in play. Only 17 hits allowed.
Up and away, ball 1 to Kipnis. There's the outside corner, 1-1. The hope was the Twins would have a rotation where 1 through 5 they would get consistent starts through the rotation time and time again, when in reality, the way it's played out, Nolasco's been the closest thing they've had to being something or someone they can count on.
Yeah, he and Phil Hughes, I think, have been most consistent.
Deep to right field, and gone. A home run for Kipnis. And first base umpire Laz Diaz signaling home run, and we'll see if the Twins want to challenge that. It looked like it just barely cleared the wall near the limestone.
Yeah, it looked like it maybe hit the limestone and then carried him back on the field when it hit the railing. But Kipnis went down and got a pretty good pitch. Lots of breaking ball. And Kipnis waited back nicely. Got it up in the air.
Yep.
Right in that. See it hit on top of the limestone there. And the railing.
Just the second home run allowed by Nolasco, and the second home run hit by Kipnis. Here is Lindor. Ball 1. Indians got a home run last night from Yan Gomes. And now Lindor takes a strike, 1-1. Lindor hitting much better from the other side of the plate. And he fouls it back 1-2.
Yeah, a lot of hype for this Francisco Lindor, and there should be. His second season, when he came up last year in the middle of June, he sparked the Indians right off the get-go. Great defensive player, but also produced at the plate. Hit .313 in 99 games.
Missed the inside corner, 2-2.
Last year he hit .313 in those 99 ball games. He was over .300 as a right-handed hitter and a left-handed hitter.
Swing and a miss, and Nolasco gets a strikeout for out number 2. Twins made some moves today, putting starters Kyle Gibson and Irvin Santana on the disabled list. Gibson with a right shoulder strain and an MRI. Everything looks intact. No serious issues there. Santana was scratched from his last start because of the back strain. Jose Barrios will make his major league debut, weather permitting, tomorrow. And Jorge Polanco called up. Their plane just landed, and they will be here shortly at the ballpark. Of course, Barrios to watch, and Polanco to be available off the bench. First ball hitting, Brantley pops it up to Santana. That ends the first inning. A Kipnis home run, putting the Indians up early. Run just over the wall at right field. Paul Molitor hoping that his team can get on a bit of a roll. Remember, after ending a 9-game losing streak, they won 4 in a row. Twins would like to have a really good homestand here with 2 American League Central teams making up the homestand. The Menards batting order tonight: Danny Santana leading off, then Brian Dozier, Joe Mauer, Miguel Sano, Oswaldo Arce of Young Ho Park, Eduardo Escobar, Kurt Suzuki, and Eddie Rosario.
And 25-year-old right-hander Cody Anderson on the mound, making his 3rd start of the year, excuse me, his 4th start of the year. 0-1, looking for his first win. Very high, 7.53 earned run average. Anderson's allowed 24 hits in 14 1/3 innings.
Danny Santana hit 9th yesterday, hitting in the leadoff spot tonight. The first pitch on the outside corner, strike 1. Fouled back. Anderson's first start was just fine. 6 innings, 6 hits, couple of runs against the White Sox, and then 2 sub-5 inning starts in his last 2 turns in the rotation. Once to the Yankees, once to the Mariners. A total of 8 1/3 innings and 18 hits and 10 earned runs, 4 home runs. 0-2, and Santana takes ball 1.
Hey, Anderson's still a rookie up here, basically just making his 19th major league start. Came up last year for the Indians and made 15 starts, won 7 ball games.
1-2. That's hit to left center field. That's down for a hit. And cut off by Naquin. And Santana will go into second with a stand-up double. So Santana driving one toward the gap, and Naquin with his speed was able to cut it off, or it might have been a triple.
Well, take a look at the location of this, pretty much right down the middle, and Santana, good piece of hitting. Squaring up nicely and hitting it toward left center. Naquin does a good job of cutting it off, getting it back in. And a Santana double, his first extra base. At 16 at-bats, now 4 for 16.
Brian Dozier, the batter, with the speed of Santana at second. And he takes low, ball 1. Dozier driving in a couple of runs with a double in the game last night, tying the game at 2 in the middle innings. Still a sub 200 batting average. Brian might be forgotten, got off to a slow start last year and then really picked it up in May. Inside 2-0. Dozier with 3 home runs, or put it another way, the same number of home runs the entire Atlanta Braves team has. That's incredible. 19 games played and only 3 home runs for Atlanta. 2-0 to Dozier. And a strike over the inside corner.
Well, it must be cold in Atlanta, because once it warms up, that ball will be flying there.
Well, then next year they're going to be moving into that new ballpark, and then they'll have all that wet concrete too. Swing and a foul, 2-2. There are 4 key members of the Twins on the disabled list. Pitchers Glenn Perkins, Irvin Santana, Kyle Gibson, third baseman Trevor Plouffe, and the starting center fielder on opening day Byron Buxton, sent down yesterday. So some new faces will arrive here shortly. 2-2 to Dozier. And a drive to right field, a base hit.
Wow.
Santana to third. They're going to wave him around. Chisenhall with a throw offline, and Dozier drives in a run with an opposite field single.
I said wow, because I think everybody has wanted, from his hitting coach to his manager, have Brian Dozier do exactly what he did right there. Yeah, you're going to hit 20-some home runs, but get that average up by doing exactly this. A little slider away, didn't try to pull it, just went with it. That's got to feel good for Brian Dozier. And picking up his 10th RBI. So just like that, 2 batters, they tie the game at 1 apiece.
And 2 more hits allowed by Cody Anderson. Here's Joe Mauer. Takes low, ball 1. His other hit to right field, you may remember, was a check swing double over the first base bag.
I hugged the line, yep.
And an important one here in the first inning to quickly tie the game up. 1-0 to Mauer. And a strike. Joe's .455 on base percentage, leading the American League by plenty. No one likes the 6-14 record, but it's masked the fact that Joe is off to a really good start.
Dozier, a couple stolen bases in 2 attempts.
Dozier with the hand protector. This one lifted to the left field corner, fairly deep. Brantley chasing it, and he makes the catch in the corner. Dozier will retreat and get back with a slide, 1 away, and it'll bring up Sano. Northland Ford defense for the Indians. They're happy to have Michael Brantley back. He injured his shoulder here at Target Field in September of last year. Naquin in center, Chisenhall in right. Uribe, Lindor, Kipnis, and Napoli the infielders, and Jan Gomes behind the plate.
Yeah, he had surgery on that right shoulder over the winter, and it took him a little while, a little longer than he expected. But rehab, this is his first game. He did pinch hit in yesterday's ball game, but his first game defensively. Starting.
Here's Sano. Low ball one. Bert mentioned that Anderson was called up last year, and he really gave the Indians a boost. Now they were out of the race, but in September he was the American League Pitcher of the Month. He went 5-0 in September. Chopper to third. Ooh, a low hop, and Uribe just barely got Dozier at second. Ball kind of skipped on Uribe. He did a nice job staying with it. Sano reaches on a fielder's choice.
Yeah, as an infielder, I'm sure you're expecting a good hop, but you anticipate maybe a bad hop. And Uribe, you saw that ball stay down. He thought it was going to come up, maybe be chest high, and a quick throw over.
Very close.
Just getting Dozier at second.
And I think they're going to take a look at it. A first inning challenge by the Twins. So they saw something Sean Harlan did in the replay room. Now the Twins have been very fortunate on these challenges here the last few games, both in DC and last night. A challenge by the Indians that was denied might have been the turnaround. Well, there's the ball in the webbing of Kipnis's glove.
Right.
So I don't know quite what Sean Harlan saw. The catch is considered made when the ball hits the back of the glove. And we may have a technology issue here right now. No. Discussion between the umpire and Terry Francona.
Jeff Nelson, the crew chief, talking to Terry Francona.
Obviously the Twins saw something, but I don't know what it could possibly be. It sure looked like the ball hit Kipnis's glove while Dozier's foot was still inches from the bag. Taking another look at it.
Yeah, they're showing it this almost the same thing on the big screen. A lot of times you'll see fans and a quick force out.
And the Twins, you can tell the manager's not too happy. Of course, he doesn't see the replay, but so the Twins have lost their challenge. Call was confirmed, and they're 2 away with a runner at first and Arcia at the plate. First inning challenges are rare to begin with. There's Arcia fouling one back, and most of the time when you see it, it's very convincing evidence that a call was made incorrectly. So instead, now the Twins will play the rest of the ball game without one of their challenges. Now from the 7th inning on, they can ask the umpires to take a look at a close play.
Well, here's a hitting hero in the 9th inning last night, Arcia.
Roller to second. And it is the shortstop Lindor who makes the play. Santana doubles and scores to tie the game. Tom Thibodeau, the new Timberwolves president of basketball operations and coach, will join us next. Timberwolves have some of the best young talent in the NBA. They play, of course, at Target Center. We're here at Target Field. And that young talent will have a new coach and a new president of basketball operations. The batter is Mike Napoli. We're very happy to welcome back to Minnesota Tom Thibodeau. Welcome. It doesn't get any colder than this in Minnesota, even in January.
Well, what happened to the roof?
Down and away. You've got an awful lot of young talent. I would imagine that's one of the things that really appealed to you about the job here in Minnesota.
Yeah, I think when studying the job, I looked at the roster, and without question, it's the best young roster in our league. So that's what made it so appealing. And of course, Glenn owning the team, and then Scott being able to come here from San Antonio. I'm excited about that. Looking forward to the challenge ahead.
Now, Coach, okay, I mean, do you know all the players? Have you introduced yourself to all the players yet? Big curveball right there.
I know them all, and some of them I've had an opportunity to talk to. I'm still trying to track them all down, and that'll be the first order of business, to meet with everybody individually in person. So in the next week or so, I hope to be able to do that.
Now, I don't know that much about basketball, but I understand that you're very good at the defense, and anything that, whether baseball, football, basketball, anything, hockey, you have to have a good defense.
Right. I want to be strong on both sides of the ball, but I think if we can improve defensively, we can have a good chance to win on the nights in which we don't shoot well, and that's what you're trying to do. And in the playoffs, if you look at the teams that have success, they're well balanced on both sides of the ball.
Now, we welcomed you back to Minnesota because you were part of the inaugural coaching staff with Bill Musselman a long time ago. But how much did you learn about basketball and how to coach from Muss?
A lot. For me, it was a great opportunity coming into the NBA from college. It's a much different game. And he was such a great coach, a great leader, great teacher, great communicator. And for a guy trying to learn, just coming in, it couldn't have been better. So that he had a great impact on my career, and I had the opportunity to work with a lot of great coaches along the way. I was with Doc Rivers in Boston, and Jeff Van Gundy in New York and Houston, and John Lucas in Philadelphia and San Antonio, Jerry Tarkanian, and So I've been very fortunate. And then Team USA, I'm involved with Coach K and Jim Boeheim and Jerry Colangelo, Imani Williams, and so that's I've been very fortunate. And then of course a bunch of Hall of Fame players, and you're not going anywhere unless you have those type of players.
And I'm sure you've had the opportunity to pick their brains about everything.
Yeah, that's the best part of that. When you're around guys like Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen, David Robinson, Patrick Ewing, Yao Ming, Tracy McGrady, Derrick Rose, Jimmy Butler, Luol Deng, Pau Gasol, Joakim Noah. I benefited greatly from that. So
how could you not?
Yeah, exactly. I didn't get in the way.
Batter is Chisenhall with pop-up backing out of play. Nolasco with 2 strikeouts. Well, now as a coach, you're kind of working for yourself because you've got dual titles, right? I mean, president of basketball operations. How are those 2 jobs going to relate to one another, or are you going to try to keep those separate somehow?
And that's why I think Scott is so important. And of course, Glenn. He'll make the decisions in terms of the investments and what we're going to do. But I think as a president, you're looking at the longer view, and as a coach, you're looking more at today and short term. And so we have the checks and balances in place to make sure we're making good, solid decisions. And hopefully we can move this team forward to become a championship caliber team.
It's down the left field line, a foul ball, and it's still 0-2.
Coach, are you a baseball fan? Because I saw you throw out the first pitch.
Yeah, what'd you think?
A strike.
Yeah,
it looked like a strike.
Yeah, not bad, right?
No, it's pretty good. Now I also found out that you threw out the first pitch in Chicago. How did that go?
Yeah, you know, Mark Burley saved me. Okay, it was going to hit the dirt. He dove. It was like shot out of a cannon, right, and scooped it up. And then we had to go to the replay with Jerry Reinsdorf the next day to determine whether it hit the dirt or not.
Hey, Coach, welcome back to Minnesota. Best
Thanks
of luck.
so
we'll be
much.
watching the Timberwolves an awful lot this winter.
Good luck to you.
Okay,
right.
great seeing you.
Tom Thibodeau, the new coach and president of basketball operations for the Timberwolves. Sports North is presented by CenturyLink. Switch to CenturyLink Prism TV. Twins baseball on Fox Sports North is presented by CenturyLink. Switch to CenturyLink Prism TV for an advanced TV experience. Learn more at cprismtv.com. One apiece going to the bottom of the second inning. Ricky Nolasco already has 4 strikeouts. Young Ho Park takes a fastball, strike 1 from Cody Anderson. Got a double and a single right out of the chute. Then Anderson settled down. Got Mauer, Sano, and Arcia. Park takes a ball.
Anderson has 3 pitches. A good fastball in the mid-90s. That hard breaking ball you just saw. Then a very good changeup. And it's a circle changeup.
Drive to right center field, and that's over the head of Naquin. Park rounds first. He's got second base. And he'll hold up there. The Twins start the second inning as they did the first with a leadoff double.
3rd double of the season for Byung Ho Park. And it's another fastball. Down and in. I think Golds wanted that in a little bit more. Park hitting it sharply. You see Anderson's reaction as he backs up 3rd.
Leadoff double. We'll see what Escobar can do here. In the first inning, Dozier backed up the double with an RBI single.
Uribe at 3rd, in on the grass, as Napoli is about even with the bag, looking for the possible bunt.
Fouled away, a strike. Escobar's average has tumbled down into the 220s. Other concerns for the manager these days than the shortstop's batting average. One strike. Bounce to the right side. And Escobar, a productive out, getting Park to 3rd.
That is so important. So a nice at bat by Escobar.
And Suzuki will bat.
It's up to Kurt Suzuki to drive him in.
And the Indians will bring the infield in. It's just the second inning, but cool night, figuring that we're headed for another low-scoring ball game. Tony Francona has the infield playing in. Down low, ball one. The strikeout plague that has hit the Twins this year has even hit Suzuki lately. He has 8 strikeouts and 39 at bats. It's about twice his strikeout rate in his big league career.
Yeah, last year against Anderson, faced him 3 times, able to get 2 hits.
So we're going to miss 1-1.
There's that changeup right there. Suzuki swinging through it. Houston Astros off to a slow start. Toronto Blue Jays, they're hanging in there. And then the Twins in strikeout leaders.
Astros are off to a slow start, not because they've struck out so much. They're giving up a whole bunch of runs. 1-1. Suzuki takes close pitch, 2-1.
Another changeup that just missed low.
Like the Twins, Houston off to a 6-14 start. To center, and Suzuki delivers, coming in as Park, and the Twins take a 2-1 lead. I think we've discovered already why Anderson has given up so many hits this year. Pitch location. Seems like every pitch he delivers, every strike is belt high.
Well, that was clocked here at 96 miles an hour, so he has arm strength, but the location. Saw the location to Santana on his double, and Park's double. And right there, Suzuki driving in his 4th run with the single.
Here is Rosario. Suzuki's 4th run batted in of the year, and the Twins have cashed in on a couple of leadoff doubles. Down and away, ball 1. Four hits in 8 at bats against Anderson here tonight.
Rosario 0 for 7 against Anderson, looking for his first hit.
1-1. Couple of doubles, couple of home runs for Rosario. 13 hits, but 18 strikeouts. One and two. One and two to the 9th place hitter. Chips it into center field. Quinn is there to make the catch. 2 down. And let's check in with Marty Gelder.
Guys, some updates on the injuries that the Twins have. Ervin Santana had discomfort yesterday, just even playing catch. He hasn't been able to get the back right since he hurt it over the weekend. Kyle Gibson said his injury popped up in the 1st inning of his last start Friday at Washington. He said it was a really weird feeling. He had trouble even describing it to trainers, that it was nothing he's ever felt before. They're just saying it's a shoulder strain, though, for now. Glenn Perkins is getting better every day. Tests show more strength, Paul Molitor said, but he's still a ways away. He's heading in the right direction. Trevor Plouffe feeling pretty good. Hit off the tee yesterday, played some catch. He'll increase those baseball activities today and tomorrow. Dick and Bird, you guys doing all right? Anything to report tonight?
Well, I got my knees a little achy. Do you have any physical ailments?
I'm fine. You know what? I mean, spring training, everybody was healthy. Everybody came away okay.
Right.
Now all of a sudden that the injury bug hit.
You sure you're okay?
I'm always fine. Hey, I'm too old to worry about aches and pains. What the heck? As long as my foot hits that floor in the morning, I'm a happy camper.
1-1 to Santana. Drove a double to the gap in left center to start the bottom of the first. Out in front, 1-2.
Good change up there. Hey, Anderson last year, we mentioned, you know, he was pitcher of the month in September. He made 15 starts, started the season in Double-A, promoted to Triple-A, and then got called up to the Indians. But he did well against the Twins. In 3 starts, he was 2-0 with a 3.86 earned run average.
Target was inside and pitch delivered inside off the plate. 2-2.
Last time he faced the Twins was September 30th of last year. Those are his numbers from last year. He pitched 7 shutout innings in an Indians 10-2 win. That was a game that Ricky Nolasco started.
And on a breaking ball, Santana waves at it. Twins get another leadoff double and another run. Struck out the side of the second inning.
They got Mike Napoli for his second strikeout. Big curveball. Then Yan Gomes came up and ahead in the count. A good breaking ball down and away. And then Chisenhall. That fastball that started inner half of the plate and worked its way over. So Nolasco, just the damage off the bat of Kipnis, the solo home run. That's it.
And now Uribe, Naquin, and Santana. Deep to left. And just like that, the Indians have tied the game. Second home run against Nolasco. He came into the game having allowed just 1 home run.
Yeah, Uribe, we were talking last night. He is a free swinger. He's looking to swing on the first pitch. Doesn't walk much. And he jumped all over that fastball that came running right back into his swing. See the movement. Uribe opening up quickly. It's his first home run for the Cleveland Indians. And in his career, that's home run number 193.
Now Naquin outside. You could see on replay, Nolasco missed his location by the width of the plate. Suzuki set up down and away, and it came out over the inside corner of the plate and ended up in the seats. 1-0. High pop up to right. Retreating is Arcia. The wind is blowing out, but he's got enough room to make the catch. 1 away.
Now Uribe and Nolasco were teammates when Nolasco was with the Dodgers, so you know, maybe he's seen him pitch and say, I'm going to sit fastball the first pitch. Going to try to get ahead of me, and Uribe didn't miss it.
1 down, back to the top of the order, and Carlos Santana. Santana worked the count as he typically does. Got it to 3-2 and then hit a pop-up behind second base, gloved by Dozier. Over the inside corner, strike one.
A home run by Uribe. That's his 12th career home run against the Twins.
Most of those when he was with the White Sox all those years. 1-1. And now 1-2. Indians a game above the 500 mark, coming off a 3-game sweep in Detroit. Tigers come here to start a series Friday night. Tigers entering play at 500. Mike Pelfrey going for them tonight, giving up 3 runs in the 4th inning. Just missed the corner. 2-2.
Yeah, Oakland up 3-0 right now in Detroit.
Slow off-speed pitch missing, and it's another 3-ball count to Santana.
Nolasco, for some reason, the Indians have had his number in his career, 0-2 with a 5.61 ERA against him. One of the few clubs that he has not had a victory against.
Pulled the string and a bouncer to Dozier. 2 away. April 29th is Wrestling Night at Target Field. A limited number of Wrestling Night theme night ticket packages are available. That includes a game ticket and a Twins wrestling mask. That looks fierce. A VIP package is available that includes a private meet and greet opportunity with 4 legendary professional wrestlers. Go to twinsbaseball.com/wrestling to learn more about the Wrestling Night theme night offer. Kipnis clubbed a home run to right his first time up. 1-0 from Nolasco. Roll to the right side, and Dozier to Nolasco, puts a foot on the bag, and that wraps up the 3rd inning. A leadoff home run by Uribe ties the game at 2. Ball on Fox Sports North is presented by T-Mobile. Get major league coverage. T-Mobile has doubled its 4G LTE in the last year. Tied at 2 now. Brian Dozier drove in the first Twins run with a single to right. Yeah, it's cold. Hoods up, stocking caps on. Twins hoping to build a winning streak here in this homestand. Dozier, Mauer, and Sano will bat in the 3rd against Cody Anderson. Dozier bluffs a bunt, takes a strike. And now 2-0.
Changeup misses low. You know, we had that 16-inning game a couple days ago in Washington. I mentioned Dozier had, I thought, 4 or 5 really good at-bats. He hit that 3-run home run. Then he kind of carried it into yesterday's ball game, had some good at-bats, and then he drives in the first run of the ball game for the Twins in the first inning. So hopefully Bryant is heating up a little bit, having better at-bats, better contact. Because for a while there, he was popping everything up.
Swing and a miss. 2-2. Twins have started their first 2 innings with a leadoff double and then scored a run. Dozier trying to get aboard here for the middle of the lineup. Pulled on the ground foul. On deck. Youngster too young to realize that Dad's got a souvenir from maybe first baseball game he attended. Fouled back. Here comes a souvenir our way.
Oh.
Hit a popcorn box square.
Popcorn all around. And he didn't get the ball. He'll be going back to reload that popcorn box.
2-2. And a pop-up over the Cleveland dugout. It really is amazing when you think about it here. The Twins had this healthy spring training. Just minor aches and pains, nothing serious at all. And now here, 3 weeks into the season, and 4 key members are on the disabled list. 2-2. And Dozier strikes out, 1 away.
Good changeup right there. Anderson picks up his second strikeout. Took out Santana to end the second inning.
21-year-old Jose Barrios has arrived in the big leagues. And he's arrived in the dugout. And he will be grinning a lot in the next 24 hours. Talking with Paul Molitor before the game today about it was just a few days ago we were in Milwaukee. Mauer at the plate hit a fly ball to the left field corner his first time up, ball 1. We were in Milwaukee, and as we do, we look at the minor league stats and see who's doing well at AAA, AA, so on and so forth. And the thing that stood out at Rochester, 3 starting pitchers were all pitching very, very well in Rochester. Barrios, Alex Meyer, and Tyler Duffy. And in a matter of days, all 3 of them are here.
Yep.
Pulled to the right side. Easy play for Napoli. 2 down.
I know Barrios. He started for me in the Futures game here at Target Field during the All-Star festivities. And he's had a nice minor league career, this young man from Puerto Rico. And be excited to watch him pitch. I follow him on Twitter, and boy, I tell you what, the young man works out hard.
He's very driven, isn't he? Here's Miguel Sano. Ball 1. Jorge Polanco also was on the same flight that Barrios was on to arrive in Minnesota here today, and Polanco available off the bench later on tonight. Pitches up, 2-0. Inside, got a weak little pop-up to center field, and Lindor streaks out into the outfield to make a nice running catch, and Anderson has a 1-2-3 third inning. North is presented by Northland Ford. Visit northlandford.com and your local Northland Ford dealer today. And by Grand Casino. The best stories start here. Last night, the Indians out-hit the Twins 12-5, but the Twins won the ball game. Twins are out hitting the Indians 4-2, but the 2 Indian hits have gone over the fence. Yeah, good night for some hot soup. Hot anything. Very cool here. Game time temperature, what, around 40 degrees, something like that. Lindor leads things off, and he takes strike 1. Struck out swinging in the first.
A good changeup right there by Nolasco. His 41st pitch. Starting his 4th inning.
1-1. Twins won the season series last year, 12 wins to 7. Foul back, 1-2. Santana on the disabled list. Gibson's on the disabled list. Tommy Malone hasn't pitched as many innings as he would like. On the inside corner, second time that Lindor has struck out.
And strikeout number 5 for Nolasco.
3 of them have been on called third strikes.
Again, he's got that fastball, almost a 2-seamer that will start inside and then come back over the plate. You can see a little bit of movement there. And a good frame job by Suzuki. You hit the glove, you expand that strike zone.
Fox Tracks presented by Jeep. And now Brantley. Catchers, you talk about framing, and basically what it is catching the ball, and you hope imperceptibly to the umpire, moving the glove just a little bit, but you've got to pick and choose when you do that too. If you do it on every pitch, the umpires are going to not give you any calls at all. But that time looked like Suzuki picked a good pitch to try to turn it into a strike. A drive to left center field, and Rosario is there for the catch. 2 away. And there is Polanco, and he's smiling too. It's amazing. What's wrong with Rochester, New York? Everybody we see who arrives from Rochester, New York is grinning.
Hey, your dream is to get to the big leagues. He's been here before. He's back again.
Long time no see.
Yeah, boy, 4 days.
2 down, and here's Napoli. Napoli called out on strikes for the 4th time in this series, and he takes strike 1. And the strikeout on Napoli, who had some issues with Jeff Nelson last night, has early discussion with Doug Eddings.
Yeah, he's barking at Doug Eddings already.
Napoli called out on strikes in the 2nd. 4 strikeouts in the series, and all of them have been on called third strikes. Breaking ball missing. And the strikeouts are mounting for Napoli. 26 strikeouts in 66 at bats.
And I'm telling you, if you see a hitter start arguing with an umpire, if you're out there on that mound, you want to throw that ball a couple inches outside.
Another hook missing. On the ground on 1 hop to Dozier. Napoli puts it in play, but Nolasco has a quick 1-2-3 4th inning. gave away last year before.
Didn't think you needed it, did you? At the end of April.
CarSoup.com trivia question: who are the 3 current American League skippers to manage 3 or more major league teams?
Terry Francona, one of those.
We already got the answer right, so I guess we'll just change the question. Who are the other 2? Hey, something interesting happened during the inning break here, and Oswaldo Arcia will stand in. He'll be followed by Park and Escobar. We talked about the fan who had the baseball smash into his box of popcorn and it scattered everywhere.
And he didn't get the ball. The people in front of him did.
Right. And so the radio guys next door, Corey Provis, Dan Gladden, gave the fan some popcorn back, and which tells us 2 things. One, it was a very benevolent, kind gesture by the radio guy.
Very
and
nice.
2, Dan Gladden didn't pay for it. So we know those 2 things. All right. And then you trumped him.
Yeah. I gave him a baseball, the one that he should have caught or didn't.
Right.
I presented him with a baseball.
Yeah. Very nice gesture by the radio
Corey.
crews, and an even better. Yeah, Corey was the one who handed off the
Right. By Corey.
the popcorn, and then you gave the fan a baseball. 1-2 to Arcia, leading off the Twins' 4th in a tie game. That's lifted foul. Paul Molitor talked today about Arcia's evolving as a hitter and how they don't want him to try to beat the shift that the Indians have on him right now on the 1st or 2nd strike. But now with 2 strikes, to have a tamer approach and just work on putting the ball in play.
Almost a choke-up type of approach.
And Arcia, at least with a couple of fouls, he's always going to be a hitter who strikes out a lot, but to have some sort of a 2-strike approach and tone the swing down a little bit.
You can almost see choking up just a little bit. Now, I don't know if he does that, on the first pitch, but Tom Bernansky constantly yelling at him, stay back. Short, compact swing. You're strong enough to hit it out if you swing halfway. And this guy's so strong.
That was a 1-2 count last night when he hit the home run, right? And he toned his swing down, and he still hit a missile to right field.
A line drive, yeah. 380.
Arcia hanging tough to start the bottom of the 4th inning. And finally succumbing to a pitch down and away. 1 down.
And Anderson picking up his 3rd strikeout.
6 in a row set down by Anderson. Our Toyota key stat tonight. Oswaldo Arcia at home has done well, hitting over 300. A couple of home runs, including the game winner last night in the 9th inning. Here is Park, drove a double to the gap in right center field, leading off the 2nd, and then later scored. 1 strike. Down low, 1-1.
Anderson, just 25 years old, signed by the Indians in 2011. Their 14th round pick.
Checked his swing, 2-1. To the left field corner. Park has another hit. Should be another extra base hit. A double to right center. Now a double to left with 1 away.
Even that swing right there, you can see the strength that Park has. He kind of reached out and pulled that ball. Brantley shading him pretty even up. Maybe a little bit toward center field, but this pitch away, you can almost see him just drop the barrel of the bat. Just reaches out nicely.
Don't you think that with every hit, and he has 2 of them already tonight, Park's confidence to play and have his game translate here to Major League Baseball in the United States, that confidence will skyrocket with every hit. Here's Escobar, hit a bouncer to 2nd his first time up. Ball 1.
Charlie Lowell, you know, kind of taught this to where, you know, you keep your hand and then you take your hand off the bat. But right there, you can almost see that the hand is off the bat already, how strong his left wrist is.
Strike call. 1-1. Boy, after every pitch, I think you can hear Tom Bernansky either criticizing the umpire or encouraging his hitter, or both. Popped up behind third. One run for Brantley. Makes the catch, and that's out number 2.
Yeah, I don't know if a lot of people know how much time a coach puts in to what he has to do to prepare everybody. It's kind of a motivator, but Bruno, a former teammate of mine, a great teammate, and a great hitting coach, spends a lot of time. And you see the black eye right there of Tom Bernansky. In Washington on Saturday, he was throwing BP in the cage underneath, and he got hit right in the eye. Thank goodness it's okay.
Suzuki, the batter, drove in a run with a single in the second inning. Inside, ball 1. You know, while we're on planes, you know, you're playing cribbage, I'm watching movies, whatever, but the coaches, not just the hitting coach, but the pitching coach and the manager, they're online and they're doing their work preparing for the next series or 2.
There's so much information now that they have to try to get. And, you know, say Anderson, they already prepared for Anderson on the flight coming home from Washington.
And then as a coach, one of the challenges you have now, what you didn't have when your career started, was how much of that information do you try to communicate to a young hitter who's trying to get his feet established in the big leagues?
You overload him.
That's to center.
Get down.
Naquin won't get there. Rounding third, scoring is Park, and Suzuki delivers again, this time a 2-out single. And it's 3-2 Minnesota.
Softly hit in front of the center fielder as Park scores for the second time in the ballgame.
Park has doubled twice, scored twice. Suzuki's driven him in twice. And now Eddie Rosario.
Now, what's more important is this is with 2 outs. So, and with 2 outs, Park taking off, and it's a 3-2 Twins lead. Good 2-out hitting.
Rosario with a fly to center, his first time up. And foul to the screen, 1 strike. Last year, Rosario hit the back middle of the Twins lineup, and he struggled this year to the point where he, with Buxton being sent down, he's hitting 9th.
Hey, he hasn't found that groove yet. You know, a lot of extra base hits last year. 13 home runs, 18 doubles, 15 triples. Drove in 50 runs.
And now inside 0-2. Swing and a miss.
Anderson worked away, and then he came in. So he's worked both sides of the plate for Rosario. Get a hit in the count. Holmes saying fastball away. That 2-seamer.
Pull to the right side. Nice pickup by Napoli, and he'll go to the bag.
He got away with that one.
Twins get a 2-out single from Suzuki to retake the lead.
Twins lead, and we are in the 5th inning, and that means the Minnesota Lottery winners circle. We have $100 worth of scratch-off lottery tickets for Dan here tonight from White Bear Lake. With the sign, with the family, you guys are braving it in the cold tonight. How are you keeping warm?
You know what? We're diehard Twins fans. No matter the weather, we're going to tough it out.
You're going to tough it out all night tonight?
Yes, ma'am. I plan on it.
Okay, well, we'll hold you to it. We're going to look for you in the 9th inning. I'm going to make sure you're still here, Dan.
I will be. I don't know about the kids.
Yeah, just send them on a bus in a blanket. Dan, congratulations. Big circle from Bert and some lottery tickets for you tonight.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Good luck. Good luck. You were all here by circle.
Yan Gomes leading off the 5th inning. Strike one from Nolasco. And now inside 1-1.
Pitch count very good for Nolasco with 52 pitches. 33 have been strikes. He has 5 strikeouts. Only 2 hits allowed, and they're home runs.
Breaking ball, and Gomes way out in front.
Yeah, Gomes tied the game in last night's game at 3 apiece with his home run. A solo home run, his 3rd of the year.
1-2. Chisenhall, Uribe will follow. Just missed the corner with a fastball.
Again, it's that 2-seamer that'll come back a little bit. A little bit of late movement just outside.
And he checked his swing. 3-2. On the ground to his left, Escobar scoops, fires, got him. Good play by Eduardo Escobar.
You know, to pitch a good ball game up here, you have to have good defense behind you. And Escobar, very, very steady at short. Yes, he's made 4 errors, but look at this right there. Going to his left, gets it, spins, and throws it over to Mauer for the 1st out. Sets himself up. That's a nice play.
Have to ask Roy Smalley. That looked like a tougher play than it might appear even on replay, because the ball was descending down into the ground again, and Escobar really had to lean down to pick it up and then spin and fire. If the ball's coming up, it's an easier play. You're not bent over nearly as much. And now foul back 1-1. Chisenhall called out on strikes, his 1st time up.
Shortstops make it look so easy, that type of play. It's not.
And foul back.
You look at Nolasco. Yes, he throws a lot of fastballs, about 46%, but that changeup is almost like it, or the curveball is almost like a changeup. He has that little split finger. But he'll change speeds on that curveball. He'll tighten it up. And he's got the slider. An assortment of pitches.
And so much movement too. I don't know that we've seen that the last 2 years. The fastball moves, the breaking balls obviously do. See a guy who came to the Twins with an opponent batting average in the 270s and wasn't able to pitch nearly that effectively in the first 2 years.
For the last couple years, the elbow issue and then the ankle surgery. He just wants to stay healthy.
Pulled, foul.
That might have been the splitter right there. Just took something off, adding and subtracting. The guy knows how to pitch. 251 now starts at the big leagues. 101 wins, 89 losses for Ricky Nolasco. Has 10 complete games, 4 shutouts in his career.
One and two. Driven foul. You look at his career, Mark, before his Twins career started, and you could understand why he got the contract that he got. And opponent batting average of 277, over 1,500 innings, had won 100 major league games, and a slow breaking ball strikes out Chisenhall. 2 down.
Strikes out Chisenhall for the second time. Let's take another look at Escobar at short. You see he had to reach to get it, but then you see his momentum's going out towards center field, but still able to pick up first base. I mean, try this at home, you'll end up throwing it probably back to the pitcher.
That's tonight's cricket, something to smile about. 2 down, and now Uribe. And a fastball in a better spot.
Yes, remember Uribe at his first at bat jumped on that first fastball that tailed middle in, and he hit his first home run in a Indians uniform.
And backs away from a breaking ball, 1-1.
Uribe with the Dodgers from 2011 to 15. Nolasco traded from the Marlins to the Dodgers in 2013.
1 and 2.
Well, they were teammates for about a month.
Nolasco pitched 87 innings for the Dodgers before signing with the Twins. Today, not only Irvin Santana, but Kyle Gibson going on the disabled list, and I can promise you Paul Molitor feels pretty good about handing the baseball tonight to a veteran who seems to be going through a bit of a renaissance in his career. Check swing dribbler. Twins in its current form have a very young, inexperienced rotation with Duffy. Just a handful of starts. Barrios will make his major league debut tomorrow. And Alex Meyer might be next in line should something happen. Squirted. This is a spinner out towards Dozier. And he fires to Mauer. Another good inning for Nolasco. He's retired 9 men in a row. Fans in the game bundled up. SpongeBob SquarePants fleece blanket, whatever it takes to stay warm on a very cool April night.
Such a family game, isn't it?
Here's Danny Santana, who's going to drop down a bunt single leading off the 5th inning.
How did you know that?
This is a replay, actually, and I saw this game before.
That was a great call right there, and that was a perfect bunt. It stayed on the grass. If this gets on the dirt, it may go foul, but you can see it stay on the grass. So good call by my partner Dick, and a great bunt by Santana.
Twins have had a couple of leadoff doubles and scored runs. A one-out double led to a run. We'll see what the bunt single does here with Dozier at the plate.
What's he gonna do?
Thought about it. Dozier with an RBI single in the first, and then after a long at bat he went down swinging in the third. And on the outside corner, 1-1. What the Twins just saw from Santana is what they're looking for from Byron Buxton, who was sent down. Buxton up here for 3 weeks, and he got one bunt single. I think the Twins are of a mind that he's so fast he ought to be getting 2 or 3 bunt singles every week. Santana goes, and Dozier is either hit or did it hit the knob of the bat? I think it hit the bat, yeah. So the good news is Dozier isn't hurt. Bad news is he wasn't hit by the pitch.
Yeah, on a cold night. That ball came running in on Dozier, and yeah, hit the knob of the bat. Wow. This is going to give us a great view right here. How did that not hit his left hand?
1-2. See if the Twins send Santana again.
Yeah, he had a great jump.
There he goes. And the pitch hit down the right field line. Chisenhall running to the line. Can't make the play. Santana didn't know how to play it. He'll run for third base. Dozier to second and out at third. A good throw by Chisenhall, getting Santana, who wasn't sure how to play that ball. And Santana lingering around third. Remember, the Twins don't have a challenge anymore. So even though he may have been safe, there's no recourse.
Well, you kind of lost in no man's land. Santana, remember, he was taking off. Brian getting that pitch down. Chisenhall diving for the ball and just got behind him, and then Santana has to pick up the ball. Where is it? Where is it? Is he going to make the catch? Now he's got to take off. And Santana kind of slowed up right there.
I think Uribe may have decoyed him, and I think, look at that, he's safe. But the Twins have no recourse to challenge it because of the first inning challenge.
Yeah, Uribe did. I agree. He did a great job of deking Santana because he held up. But as a base runner, you have to pick up your third base coach. And Gene Glenn was down, like, get down.
And keep coming hard.
Yeah.
Mauer takes inside a ball.
Gene Glenn doesn't have to tell you to keep coming hard. You just keep going hard yourself. He just slowed up.
Dozier's at second with one away. Given what happened, I'm guessing Dozier got a single and went to second on the throw. Now down and in, it's 2-1. The Twins would like to take advantage of the scoring opportunity. The bunt single, the pop fly single by Dozier. And a man in scoring position for Mauer. 0 for 2 so far. Foul back.
Good swing right there by Joe.
I'm sure Paul Molitor will be asked about the first inning challenge that may have cost the Twins a big inning here in the fifth. Molitor not seeing the replay, just getting a thumbs up.
Right.
On the force play at second base. 2-2 to Mauer. To the left field corner. And down for a hit, a double for Mauer, and Dozier will score. It's 4-2. Fair by inches, just inside the baseline.
Joe just reaching out and hitting it, as he does so well, the other way. And you're just hoping, if you're a Twins fan, that that sinker stays fair. And watch where it hits.
A foot.
You have plenty of room. And it went into the stands for a ground rule double. 21 straight games now for Joe Mauer that he has reached base. Quick trip to the mound by the pitching coach.
Already with 9 hits. And Anderson, pitcher, is retired. Only 9 batters. Twins fans, if you can't watch the games on TV, you can now stream games live on your mobile device. Go to your app store and download the free Fox Sports Go app. Log in and stream the Twins wherever you go. Single runs in innings 1, 2, 4, and 5. And the Twins still hitting here in the 5th. Dan Otero, one of 6 right-handed relievers for the Indians. Trevor Bauer was their long man, but with the injury to Carlos Carrasco, the Indians have moved Bauer out of the bullpen and into the rotation. Sano for 2. Ball 1. Mauer shuffles towards third, but holds up. Mighty swing and miss. 1-1. Back at third base. And hoping to deliver a big hit here in the 5th inning.
Home sitting inside. And Sano leaps to get out of the way.
Foul. I would imagine Harmon was that way. I was just a fan during his career, but when someone like Sano comes to the plate and they're capable of hitting a home run on any swing, it seems like it's been a while since he's hit a home run, when in fact it's only been 4 days. Two and 2. And now a full count with Arce on deck. Now Harmon hit 49 home runs on a regular basis and almost always hit 40 home runs or more. And so if he went a few games without hitting one, it's like, well, he's due. And it was only 4 days ago that Sano hit one.
That was last Friday in Washington.
And he takes a walk. And Anderson hasn't retired a batter here in the 5th inning.
First walk for Anderson. That was his first 3-ball count, and then he ends up walking Sano.
The Twins Flex Plan gives you flexibility to choose your games and your number of seats. Choose in advance or even the day of the game, so you don't have to plan. You can flex plan. Go to twinsbaseball.com/flex or call 800-33-TWINS to learn more. Big spot here for the Twins. They've got one. They've had a runner out on the bases, and now Arce, who is 0 for 2, comes up with 2 men on. Fouled away, 1 strike. 0-1. The Twins right fielder. 0-2. And that's fine. Arcia's swung hard twice, but now what they want is just, to the extent he's able to, tone the swing down and just try to make contact.
Bruno just yelling out, put it in play.
Away. One on the board. The Twins are looking for a crooked number here in the 5th. Decent chance, I imagine, that Anderson is pitching to his last batter. Foul tip, and Gomes hangs on. Arcia strikes out number 2.
Second time Arcia's gone down on strikes, swinging. And Anderson picking up his 4th strikeout. Ball down, had some movement on it. See where Gomes is sitting. Good fastball down and away.
Park has doubled twice against Anderson. He will leave Anderson in to pitch to him with 2 men on and 2 men out. Leadoff double in the 2nd. That went to right center. And a 1-out double he hooked into the left field corner. Ball 1. Swing and a foul. 1-1. White Sox are going to win again. It's 10-1. Bottom of the 9th inning at the Rogers Center. Quite a story. The White Sox looking for win number 15 on the year. One to Byung-Ho Park. To left field, caught by Lindor.
Timed his leap perfectly.
Never got to left field. A bullet for the 3rd out. The Twins get a walk and 3 hits, but just 1 run in the 5th. Anderson got out of that inning relatively unscathed. Just the 1 run on the board, thanks to Lindor, who's, I suspect, going to steal a lot of Twins hits in the next 10-12 years.
A good little athlete right there. He leaped and timed his leap perfectly.
Swing and a miss now by Tyler Naquin.
Yeah, Ricky Nolasco has only given up 2 hits, 2 solo home runs, retired 9 straight Indians after the home run by Uribe.
Off the glove of Mauer rather, and in between the legs of Dozier for a leadoff single. Sounded like he might have cracked his bat. A base hit nonetheless, leading off the 6th. And now Carlos Santana.
Joe leaping and right off the tip of the glove. Win at first base.
Santana with a pop to Dozier and a ground ball to Dozier. Outside, ball 1. Dozier's had a few plays. Escobar's had a few plays. Sano hasn't had a ball hit to him at third base yet.
Nolasco does not have a ground ball double play turned behind him yet.
1-0 to Santana.
This is his 4th start.
Way out in front. Nolasco set down 9 in a row. He's given up just 3 hits, the 2 home runs, and the single off the glove of Mauer. Missed the inside corner, 2-1. Down and away, 3-1. Getting us on deck.
He tried that sinker away, just outside, trying to get that ground ball.
Pitch count very good for Nolasco. In the outside corner, Santana was ready to take a walk.
75, 49 strikes. No walks for Nolasco, 6 strikeouts.
Full count to Santana. Fly ball left center field and deep. Chased by Rosario. He won't get there. Pins itself against the fence. Naquin around third. He's going to score on an RBI double by Santana. It's 4-3.
Well, fastball away, and Santana went with it. Picks up his 11th RBI on his 5th double. So a 3-2 fastball away. Santana hitting it to the base of the fence out by the bullpen. See Rosario on his horse, and the ball just kind of died right there. He gets it back in.
Kipnis with a home run and a ground ball to Dozier. Well, that's a guy with a couple thousand at bats, Santana, and you can tell from center field the movement on Nolasco's fastball. If Santana tries to pull that pitch, he probably hits into that double play you were talking about, but he drove it instead to the opposite field. And now Kipnis takes a strike, and it's 1-1. Only 4 hits allowed by Nolasco, but back-to-back hits. Indians already have 1 with the tying run at second, nobody out. Chipped foul, 1-2.
Kipnis, a 2-time All-Star for the Indians in 2013 and last year.
1-2. It's to the left field corner, and slicing and just foul. The Indians going to the opposite field. Third time through the order.
Well, they're making Rosario get a lot of running in. All about 3-4 feet foul.
Another foul ball. Pitch count running up now, 81. Just want Nolasco to get through this. See if there's anything left for maybe the 7th inning. His bullpen overworked last couple of games, the 16-inning game, and even more innings yesterday than they would have wanted with a short start from Tommy Malone. Check swing foul. Foul, and instead of the swings and misses we saw the first 2 times through the order, a lot of contact.
Well, that breaking ball just left up right there. Just left some pitches up. Well, you're just getting some foul balls off the bat of Kipnis. What Kipnis wants to do is try to advance Santana over to third. Nobody out.
Center, and Santana has to retreat to make the catch. And advancing to third is Santana on a fly ball. The tying run moves to third base.
Ball hit deep enough allows Santana to tag up.
Long battle. Nolasco got the out. Santana moves up 90 feet. The Budweiser roof deck is the ultimate Twins outdoor experience. It's available for your group of 250 guests on both Independence and Labor Day weekends. Your clients and staff will enjoy the views, the amenities, the large fire, everything you need for mixing game time with social time. Go to twinsbaseball.com/groups. Learn more about how your group can experience the Budweiser roof deck. Infield in, 1 out, and Lindor at the plate.
And Lindor struck out twice already against Nolasco, and that's what Ricky wants.
Deep fly, it'll tie the game. Santana stumbled, and he'll go back and make same catch he made a few moments ago, and a deep fly to center, and it's 4 apiece.
And Ricky leaving a couple pitches up right there. Another curveball that stayed up, and we got a tie ball game as Lindor does make contact, drives in his 6th run of the year.
And now Brantley, who's hit a couple of outfield flies in his first plate appearance of the season last night. He hit a fly to left. So far tonight, a fly to center and a fly to left. Slow breaking ball with strike 1.
This is kind of like opening day for Brantley. Again, shoulder surgery over the winter. A lot of rehab. Good hitter. Good hitter.
Another slow breaking ball and strike 2. It's a pitch I don't think he threw Kipnis at all. He threw a lot of hard breaking balls and fastballs, maybe to try to keep him from pulling the ball and advancing the runner.
Yeah, Kipnis fouled off some curveballs. Then he left the pitch up, and Kipnis hit that sac or deep fly ball out to allow Santana to move up a base.
Blocked by Suzuki, 1 and 2. Four hits for the Indians, and all 4 hitters have scored. Check swing, but he went. And Nolasco gives up a couple of runs in the 6th, and we're tied at 4. Coming up Tuesday, May 24th, it's the 12th annual Kids in the City, celebrating the Fox Sports North Boys and Girls Club All-Stars. The event starts with a pregame party at Fulton Brewery, followed by the Twins and Royals game at Target Field. Visit foxsportsnorth.com, click on upcoming events on the Hot Topics bar for details.
Young lady has a blanket around her, but she's still shivering. Very, very cold here tonight.
Bottom third of the Twins lineup: Escobar, Suzuki, and Rosario, with Anderson still out there. Strike over the inside corner. Fouled away, 2 strikes.
.92 pitches for Anderson. 61 strikes.
Chop to the right side, should be an easy play for Kipnis. 1 down. That'll bring up Suzuki. And let's find Marty Gellner.
Some news and notes for you around the league, guys. Last night in Anaheim, Albert Pujols hit 2 home runs and passed Reggie Jackson for 13th place on the all-time list. Numbers 564 and 565 in Pujols' career. Miguel Cabrera also hit double dingers last night, part of a 4-for-4 night at the plate. Tigers beat the A's and ended a 4-game losing streak. And aces are on display tonight. Clayton Kershaw, David Price, Chris Sale, Max Scherzer, all starting for their respective teams. Sale already gave the White Sox a 10-1 win over Toronto. 1 run allowed, 4 hits, 8-inning pitch for Sale in the win, guys.
Boy, he's pitching well for the White Sox, isn't he, Chris Sale? David Price been beat up a couple times already this year. Kershaw, boy, he's nasty. And in Scherzer, he didn't pitch all that well the other day against the Braves. Gave up 5 runs.
Still glad the Twins didn't have to face him.
Yeah.
1-1 to Suzuki, who's driven in a pair of runs with a pair of singles. And half swing, 1-2.
Saw Kirk kind of shaking his head right there. Just not a bad swing, or just a bad swing. He's got to regroup. Hope Anderson leaves a pitch up to his liking. Already has 2 singles, 2 runs batted in.
Chop to third, easy play for Uribe. 2 down. right before Rosario's at bat. Carsoup.com trivia question. Well, you've got Terry Francona, you got Buck Showalter, and let's see, Girardi's managed 2 teams, but not 3. Bob Melvin. There you go. Melvin with what? Arizona, Seattle, and Oakland. Rosario 0 for 2. Fly to center and a bouncer to first. And a drive to right field. This is back. This is gone. A home run. And the Twins are back in front.
Home run number 3 on the year for Eddie Rosario. And again, you can see how strong this man is right there. Looked like an off-speed something, and he just hooked it. Indians had just tied it at 4 apiece, and Rosario with 2 outs makes it a 5-4 Twins lead.
Rosario just flicked his bat out, hit it into the seats in right, and the Twins are back in front. They finally knock out Cody Anderson. Not the biggest guy in the world, but he put the barrel of the bat on the ball.
Yeah, good solid swing right there. He had been struggling, and all of a sudden there, I mean, just kind of like turned it and hit it into the bleachers in right field.
So now Danny Santana will hit against Dan Otero. Twins scored in the first. Indians had the first lead at 1-0. The Twins tied it up, haven't trailed since.
Yeah, Dan Otero coming in. Not an overpowering fastball, slider and a changeup in his first season with the Indians.
One and 0 to Santana. Fouled back. A double and a run scored in the first, a bunt single, and then he was thrown out at third on Dozier's pop fly hit into right field. Not sure that he could have done anything different at the start of the run toward third base, but it did appear he slowed down a bit at the end of the run. That's to center. Equin comes in, makes the catch. Santana stings the ball for the third out. Rosario hits a home run to put the Twins back in front.
I'm Jeff Grayson with your Mall of America Studio Sports Update. 30 years ago to the day, April 26, 1986, a storm came through the Twin Cities and ripped a hole in the Metrodome's roof. Fans in the upper deck got wet. The game was delayed for 9 minutes.
And the back end of that story, Jeff, was that they had to turn the fans on high to reinflate the roof. The Twins, as I recall, had a 5-run lead with the Angels batting, and balls were flying out of the Metrodome like Titleists. Wally Joyner hit a home run. Yep. There were 3 of them. The Twins lost the ball game after leading by 5 runs when the leak occurred. Here's Napoli facing Nolasco, 1 strike. And now a ball. Napoli, Gomes, and Chisenhall lined up here in the 7th inning. Beginning of activity in the Twins bullpen. And a tapper foul.
Yeah, Nolasco making his 4th start of the year, 4th time he has pitched into the 7th inning. Twice he completed 7 innings. His last time out, 6 1/3 innings.
Casey Fiend getting loose.
That against the Brewers.
Tap foul again. Coming into the game, Nolasco, 3 starts, 3 walks. No walks here tonight. Maybe just 1 or 2 3-ball counts. And off the plate, 2-2.
He's always had excellent control. Came into the ball game with just over 1,500 innings pitched at the major league level, averaging 2.1 walks per 9. About 7 strikeouts. He has 7 already.
Got him with a fastball.
And make it 8. Well, all that off-speed stuff that Napoli fouled off, and all of a sudden here's the fastball.
In a really good spot.
Yep. So strikeout number 8.
You can follow Twins baseball live with the MLB.com at-bat app. Customize at-bat to feature the Twins and stay up to the moment at any moment with game day, live game video, highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Plus, subscribe to at-bat premium. Into right field and toward the line. Arcia has it covered, it looks like. 2 down. Two down. And that'll bring up Chisenhall.
You know, and again, in today's game, if you can get your starter to go 7 and then turn it over to the bullpen, that's what you want, because everybody's right. At 7 innings, you average 15 pitches an inning. You're right around 100 pitches.
But in this context, after 16 innings on Sunday and a short start from Malone yesterday, the Twins needed Nolasco to step up and eat some innings here. And so this is the type of thing you expect a veteran pitcher to do under these circumstances, and he's doing it.
Chisenhall would be pinched hit for. Marlon Byrd. What a good night at the plate last night, pinch hitting for Chisenhall.
Chisenhall struggling this year. Doesn't get a chance to play against lefties, and he struck out twice against the righty.
Byrd last night. An RBI single and then a double. He had 4 at-bats.
Check swing foul.
Byrd, a veteran. We talked about him last night. This is his 15th season with a big club. Started with the Phillies. He's played for 10 different major league teams.
Talked about it last night. The Indians loading up with veteran right-handed batters. Byrd, Uribe, Rajai Davis. Nolasco gets ahead. This will be his 99th pitch. 0-2 to Byrd. How about Ricky Nolasco tonight? 7 innings. And the Twins come off the field with a 5-4 lead.
Well, he's on a mission, and he fulfilled that mission here tonight.
Tried to win another one-run ball game, and Ricky Nolasco stepped up tonight.
They really did. The Twins needed, as you mentioned, Dick, somebody to go deep into the ball game. Nolasco, for the 4th time this season, went into the 7th inning. 3 times he's completed 7 innings. So Nolasco, 99 pitches, 9 strikeouts for Nolasco, no walks, and no, the Indians don't have anybody left on base through 7 innings because every time they got on, they scored.
High fly to deep left field, but Brantley in front of the track makes the catch, 1 away. Dozier jumps on the first pitch, and a very quick first out for Otero.
Bird taking over in right field. And this copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins, LLC.
Mauer with an RBI double his last time up. Fair down the left field line by about a foot. Drove in Dozier. Outside, ball 1. Just off the corner again.
Yeah, Twins saw Otero when he was with the Oakland A's. Came up to the big leagues with the Giants in 2012. 3 seasons with Oakland. Sinking fastball. That's his key pitch, along with a slider and a changeup.
And finally hits the corner. 2-1.
With that double, RBI double in the 5th inning. Now 21 consecutive games Joe has been on base.
Foul back. 3-2 to Mauer. Teams have had a handful of games like this where they've had a lead going into the late innings, and the back end of the bullpen's had a tough time securing those leads. So insurance runs or even an insurance run would come in handy. Just missed the outside corner, and Mauer takes a walk. Oh, that's a close pitch. And here comes Sano.
Wow, the sinking fastball. Terrell.
Goes down and away. Fox Strikes presented by Carrier. Sano's reached on a fielder's choice, popped up and walked. To left, right at Brantley. 2 down.
That ball got in on Sano a little bit. Hit the line drive out.
Target Field suites are available for single game rental for groups of 16 to 150 plus. Enjoy a climate controlled experience and a great view of a Twins game with food and beverage included. Learn more at twinsbaseball.com/groups or call 800-33-TWINS. Schedule your suite at Target Field. Mickey Callaway to the mound. Probably to tell Otero, remember that pitch that McAllister threw this guy last night?
Don't throw it down.
Don't throw that pitch. Arcia is 0 for 3 with a couple of swinging strikeouts. Bernansky with some words of advice for Arcia. Jeff Manship warming up. Otero with that sinker getting a chance to pitch to Arcia. And I would imagine trip to the mound was to buy a little time for Manship to warm up in the event Arcia extends the inning. Off the plate, ball one. One and 0. 2 and 0. Dangerous pitch here from Otero to Arcia. Popped up and out of play.
I think this is a guy, Otero, that, you know, we saw Arcia with power to right, but he also has power the other way with that sinker constantly moving away from him. If he can get a pitch and drive it the other way,
Like Santana did to Nolasco. And Mauer steals second base, and the pitch is strike 2. Joe moves into scoring position.
You don't pay any attention to Joe Mauer. You see Joe just taking that walking lead. Otero did not even look over, so Joe gets a stolen base.
And Arcia protecting the outside corner, flips it foul.
Joe's first stolen base of the season.
Two and 2 to Arcia. Away 3 and 2. Park on deck. Jacked his swing, but they went. Home plate umpire Doug Edding said he went, and barking from the Twins dugout. This is something I wish would change. There's no reason for the home plate umpire to make that call.
And that's all Paul's saying. Just ask him.
Left-handed batter, and the appeal should be made to the third base umpire. Well, I think he wins.
Still out there?
I am surprised.
Got 99 pitches. He's fine. Nolasco out there to start the 8th inning.
Shattered bat, and Sano gets his first chance. One down.
On 100 pitches.
Well, my apologies for writing the post-mortem on Ricky Nolasco tonight. He's out there. He's pitched 7 1/3 innings.
I did not touch my scoreboard.
Well, I didn't either, but I just assumed he was out.
Well, breaking ball. And the bat just shattering. I love that kind of wood. Nice play by Sano, showing off that strong arm.
That's got to feel good on a cold night. Have your bat explode like that. Here is Naquin. Lined a single off the glove of Bauer and then scored after his leadoff single in the 6th. Ball 1.
Naquin, the Indians' #1 pick in 2012 out of Texas A&M in his rookie season.
That's to center, and Santana back, still going back, and it's over his head. Naquin's got an extra base hit. It'll be a double. The tying runs at second with 1 away.
Naquin picking up his 2nd hit off of Nolasco, his 2nd double of the season. And Paul Molitor's coming out. One thing you don't want to do is have your starter maybe lose a ball game, but that breaking ball or fastball stayed right there. Good solid swing. Naquin hitting it over the head of Santana.
Well, Ricky Nolasco will come out of the ball game after 7 1/3 innings, leading by a run. Of the game with the Twins hanging on to a 1-run lead.
Yeah, Kipnis a home run in the 1st inning, gave the Indians a 1-0 lead. Danny Santana led off the bottom of the inning with a double RBI single by Dozier. Suzuki a good day at the plate, a couple RBI singles. Joe Mauer continuing to get on base, 21 consecutive to start the season. Santana a double, scored a run, and then Rosario, his 3rd home run of the year in the 6th inning, giving the Twins a 5-4 lead. Casey Fiend coming in, making his 10th relief appearance.
Faced Carlos Santana, 1 for 3, an RBI double, and a run scored his last time up. Strike 1 on the outside corner. 2 big outs for Fiend to get. Presumably the 9th would be handed off to Kevin Jepson. 0 for 12, 5 strikeouts. Casey Fiend has eaten up Carlos Santana. Naquin very fast at second base. 0-2.
Going right after him with a couple fastballs.
Got him on the outside corner.
Excellent pitch by Fiend. Suzuki sitting there, and wow, pitcher's pitch.
Perfect pitch. And now Kipnis. Kipnis has had some success against Fiend. Kipnis homered in the first inning to give the Indians their only lead. On the outside corner, strike one, and Kipnis leans across the plate and looks at the outside corner. Off the plate, 1-1. There's the outside corner again, and Fiend showing pinpoint control.
It really is. Fastball right there. A lot of times we'll see the cutter from Casey Fiend, but right now he's throwing that four-seam fastball.
One and two to Jason Kipnis.
And he's dialed into that pitch down and away like that.
And Kipnis has to swing at anything out there and flicks it foul.
Again, one of the greatest hitters of all time, Ted Williams, said, you can paint that corner like Fiend has so far. He said, outside, down and away. He said he would have hit 262 in his career.
Nolasco hoping that Fiend can strand, make one at second base.
Watch Suzuki.
Got him! Wow. What a job by Casey Fiend.
Great job.
Naquin stranded at second, and the Twins lead 5-4.
Here as we start the bottom of the 8th inning at Target Field. Coming up after the game, we'll bring you Twins Live presented by CenturyLink, and we'll look at Ricky Nolasco's 7 1/3 very effective innings tonight for the Twins. Also, how the team teamed up for the 5 runs on the board tonight. Contributions from Santana, Dozier, Mauer, Park, Suzuki, Rosario, up and down the lineup. And we will hear from the manager, Paul Molitor. All of that comes your way after the final out tonight, Dick and Bert.
Well, thank you very much. Well, Park takes a called strike. Parks hit the ball hard 3 times. Double to right center field, double to the left field corner, and then a sinking line drive speared by Lindor to end the threat in the 5th.
Yeah, Jeff Manship coming in, making his 7th relief appearance. He worked in last night's ball game. Faced 2 batters. Miguel Sano, he got an RBI single off of him, and then he retired Park on a ground ball to short.
Hard but foul. And it's 1-2.
And these little, you know, I mean, face Manship last night, these are little things that Young Ho Park, you know, is putting in the back of his mind. He faced him last night. He got a ground ball. He saw some of the pitches, not too many of what Manship features.
Irrelevant in the last series because the Twins are done with the Nationals and Park won't see any of those guys again. But, you know,
probably some of them he doesn't want to see anymore.
But, you know, there's a pretty good chance he's going to see Manship 3, 4, 5 times yet this year. Right. 2-2 to the leadoff man on the bottom of the 8th. And a swing and a miss. First time Park has struck out today. 1 away.
Yeah, good fastball down.
Sunday, NASCAR Sprint Cup Racing heads to the big one at Talladega with the Geico 500, where Dale Earnhardt Jr. will look to defend his title from last year, beginning at 11:30 a.m. Central on your local Fox station, or watch it live on Fox Sports Go. Now Escobar 0 for 3, 2 bouncers to second and a fly to left. It's a ball hit to the gap. It's a base hit, and Equin cuts it off, but Escobar digs for second, and he's in with another Twins double here with 1 out in the 8th.
And it's about time that Escobar gets a double. I think you're going to have to go back to April 7th. That Escobar give him the ball, see? But remember, Escobar started the season, he had 4 doubles, I believe, in the first 2 or 3 ball games.
Yep.
But he gets a double here, his 5th of the year. Fastball, and Escobar likes that ball down, just taking it the other way. And the hustle of Escobar gets into scoring position with 1 out.
Suzuki's delivered twice, 2 RBI singles, scoring a runner from second base. Actually, in the 2nd inning, the runner was at 3rd after the leadoff double by Park. Breaking ball, strike 1.
Mentioned last night, Jeff Manship, now 31 years old, originally signed by the Twins back in 2006 at the University of Notre Dame. Spent 4 seasons up and down with the Twins. And he went to the Rockies, the Phillies, in his 2nd season with the Indians.
His career kind of reflects that of Liam Hendriks. Hendriks was a failed starter in the Twins organization, bounced around a number of different organizations, but then, you know, Hendriks had a good year last year pitching out of the Toronto bullpen.
Right.
Kevin Jepson warming up for the 9th inning.
Sometimes, you know, you just don't know when something good's going to happen for some of these young kids. And you know, Manship, one of those guys, I mean, you look at his minor league numbers, my goodness, a lot of minor league starts. Just waiting. And maybe the starting role wasn't fitted for him. Now he's, you know, 1 inning, kind of Trevor May type story, too. 135 minor league starts in 191 ball games.
One and 2. Nice stop by Gomes. Kept Escobar at 3rd and kept the infield from having to come in. It was a tough block.
Yeah, both these catchers here tonight, Suzuki and Gomes, known as also being great defensive catchers.
2 and 2. Suzuki looking for his 3rd run-producing hit tonight. Down the line, a foul ball. Just missed. Hitting it right over the bag. 2-2.
This cold night, 17,493 the paid attendance.
Looking for some insurance here in the bottom of the 8th. Three and 2, Rosario on deck. Three and 2 to Suzuki. On the ground to Lindor, and Escobar stays at second, 2 away. Cracked his bat, didn't have much steam behind that ground ball. 2 down.
Kind of a sinker down, and Suzuki hit it to the wrong guy.
Lindor, by the way, for those of you who were watching last night, took full accountability for the play he didn't make. He made a couple of really nice plays. Santana hit a ball up the middle, and Lindor said that play he should have made, and it should not have been a loss for the Indians because of it.
It's pretty good for a 22-year-old to say that.
Yeah, well,
remember he was kind of patting his chest to Danny Salazar, the starter, and the one that threw that ball right there that Lindor thought he should have had.
What's that say to your teammates? You know, that
accountability.
Yeah, beyond reason. I mean, that was a tough play, and I don't know, had he fielded it cleanly, whether he would have gotten Santana. But he stepped up and said it was his mistake, and he's taking the blame for the loss. 1-0 to Rosario. Swing and a miss. 1-1. Rosario hooked a home run into the overhang in right field to give the Twins their 5-4 lead. See the hitters that Jepson is lined up to face in the 9th. 3, 4, and 5 in the Cleveland batting order. Chop to the right side. Kipnis has an easy play. It'll be a 1-run lead as we go to the 9th. Twins have been out homered tonight, but they lead it 5-4, and Kevin Jepsen will try to pick up the save.
And he'll be facing 2 of the 3 batters he faced last night. Jepsen worked a clean 9th inning, top of the 9th, and then he was the winning pitcher as Arcia gave the Twins the win. 13 pitches last night for Kevin Jepsen, 9 for strikes, making his 10th relief appearance.
Lindor with 2 strikeouts tonight and a sacrifice fly. Then Brantley 0 for 3 and Napoli 0 for 3.
Lindor last night against Jepsen, a fly ball to left field.
And a first pitch strike. We've seen Jepsen mix in more of a breaking ball, and it's apparent that maybe, I don't know what comes first, the cart or the horse. Do you use it more because you got a feel for it, or do you get the feel for it because you're throwing it more?
Depends on where you're going.
Up high, 1-1.
I mean, if you're just wanting to stay one place, you take the cart first, but if you want to go somewhere, you have to have the horse.
It was a rhetorical question, of course. 1-1.
I want to go somewhere, so I want the horse first.
And strike 2 with a fastball.
Boy, and that's nice to see, because Jepsen sometimes is up in the zone. That's where you want his fastball, right there. Keep it down.
1-2.
In your head, you can mix in your other pitches.
Driven to left, chased by Rosario. He's there, 1 away. A well hit ball with 2 strikes. Lindor retired. Time now for What's Next, brought to you by CenturyLink, and we invite you to stay tuned tonight after the game. Josh Tomlin scheduled to pitch for the Cleveland Indians. He's been really good, and Paul Molitor will officially announce who's going to start. Now, we've been under the assumption that it would be Jose Barrios, who just showed up here tonight, but the weather may impact that. We may have a fractured game tomorrow because of rain, so we'll see whether the Twins are going to hand the ball to their 21-year-old phenom tomorrow or not. And if they don't, it almost certainly would be because of the weather forecast. So anyway, stay tuned. 1 down, 1-0 to Brantley. 0 for 4 since being activated. Pop foul and out of play.
I can tell you, if it is Barrios, he will not sleep tonight.
You know what? Twins fans have heard so much about this guy. I suspect there are some Twins fans that might not sleep too well tonight. It should be an exciting night whenever he debuts. One and 1 to Brantley. Up high.
Twins have only 2 saves. Jepsen has both of those.
Line picked up by Mauer, and he'll go to the bag.
Nice play, Joe.
Couple of well hit balls here in the 9th. 2 away.
Boy, Brantley just coming off the disabled list. Of course, this is his first night that he's had more than 1 at bat. He got a pinch hit last night, but he hit that ball right on the button. Nice defensive play by Joe. And he takes the out at first. 2 outs.
Last hope for the Indians, Mike Napoli. Struck out looking in the 2nd, swinging in the 7th. 27 strikeouts in 68 at bats.
He was the final out for the Indians last night. He flew out to center field.
Low ball 1.
But a dangerous hitter, over 200 major league home runs. Mike Napoli.
A high drive to left field, and the game is tied. Into the second deck. Napoli crushing one. And it's 5 apiece. All those high fastballs we saw him swing through last night, and he caught up with one tonight.
And that has been Jetson's nemesis right there, the long ball. Remember Harper hit that home run a couple outings ago.
Now Yan Gomes, guy who tied the game with a late home run last night. Low ball 1.
Three solo home runs for the Indians here tonight.
Nolasco won't get the win. Now Jepson needs to keep this a 5-5 game. There's a strike, 1-1. Up and in, 2-1. Meyer getting loose. Twins hope to not bring him in the 9th anymore, but in case there's a 10th. And now 3-1 with Bird on deck. Mentioned before, the Twins have had a handful of games where they've led late. Last year, lead in the second half, particularly after the 7th inning was pretty much in the books. High fly left field. Long run for Rosario. He's there, and that's the end of the top of the 9th. Oswaldo Arcia was the hero in the bottom of the 9th last night. We'll see whether someone steps up tonight. An ending and a finish. Endings are imposed and inflicted. Struck him out. Got him. Breaking ball, got him. Finishes are earned and celebrated. That's to the left field corner. Twins win. Arcia drops a game winner into the left field corner. It's the last word, the closing act, the final step, the whole point. We don't remember the start. We never forget the finish. A drive to right field. Going back and gone. Arcia would hit 5th in the bottom of the 9th. We'll see what happens before the Twins get to his spot Danny Santana will lead things off. Dozier and Mauer will be sure to hit. Facing Cody Allen.
Cody Allen, the closer for the Cleveland Indians, making his 9th relief appearance.
Allen delivers strike 1 to Santana.
Allen with a good fastball, mid-90s, hard curveball, and a changeup.
Control issues this year in concert with some home run balls. An opponent batting average of 138, but 4 walks, 6 hits, and a couple of home runs, and a bloated ERA of 6.48. Santana with a double and a bunt single. He hit the ball hard his last time up, lining out to Naquin in center. 0-2. Santana towards the hole, and it'll be a base hit. Santana's 3rd hit of the ball game, and his speed is aboard with no one out. Some things in play now with Santana at first and Dozier at the plate.
And I'm going to go back to Buxton, and that's all they wanted Buxton to do, is just beat the ball into the ground, and good things happen. Santana, he's learned that.
Dozier with an RBI single in the 1st and a pop fly single in the 5th. Both hits going to the right side. He's got a huge hole with Kipnis almost lined up behind second base. Another throw over. Remember last night, Santana nearly got picked off at first. The Twins had a challenge denied, and that eventually led to a run being scored. In fact, 2 runs being scored. Dozier familiar with late inning walk-off heroics. A couple of walk-off home runs in the same homestand last year before the All-Star break. Santana goes, the pitch is inside, and Santana is safe at second.
He got a great jump right there. I think Kipnis kind of looked toward the dugout. And Terry Francona at the top step. Like Santana got his hand on the bag. I think they want to review it. Why not?
They have nothing to lose.
Right.
But again, the original call is safe.
Watch the left hand and the tag.
Boy, he might be out.
Got the left knee of Santana. That's where Kipnis tags him.
He's out. I believe they got him on the left leg before the hand reached the base. Well, now let's take another look at Kipnis's tag, though.
Right.
When did the glove actually touch the runner?
I thought it touched him around, not the thigh area, more the knee area. That's, I'm sure they'll look at that.
Okay, now watch Kipnis's glove and when it actually touches Santana. Right there. And Santana's fingers aren't on the base yet.
He touched him in the knee, but it looks like he got him on the thigh. Wow.
Terry Francona said he thought that Santana's play at first base last night would have been overturned, and it wasn't. We'll see what happens here. Gomes came up firing, and It's a really good play by Kipnis because the throw was high and the second baseman had to carry the ball a long way down to get the tag.
And they call him out.
Yep. So a caught stealing, and Santana is the first out of the inning. So the system works both ways, but it works, and it looked like Kipnis did a marvelous job dropping a tag on the speeding Santana.
Very, very quick tag.
The count to Dozier is 0-1. And now 1-1.
Dozier 1 hit and 5 at-bats against Allen with a couple walks.
Foul back, and it's 1-2. These are the two angles. And Kipnis bringing the ball all the way down over his head and getting the leather on right there. They're synced up, and you can see Santana still inches from the base. 1-2. And Dozier gets a piece. Mauer will hit next.
That's a hard breaking ball that Allen has. Last hard breaking ball at 84.
And if you're thinking lightning in a bottle 2 nights in a row, saw Allen's given up a couple home runs this year. He gave up only 2 home runs all of last year in nearly 70 innings. Two and 2 to Dozier. To right center field toward the gap. Naquin chasing it. And the ball drops in front of Bird. Dozier to second with a double. Third hit tonight for Dozier to the right side. And his double here sets up Mauer for some heroics in the 9th.
Well, fastball, Brian. Good contact to right center. And see what they do with Joe Mauer. I think they're going to go ahead and walk him.
Base open, and of course his run doesn't mean anything. It'll be the second consecutive walk for Mauer, and it'll be left to Sano, and then of course you know who's hitting behind him, Arcia. Santana, who was nearly challenged off first base last night, here in the 9th inning was challenged off second base. And Dozier gets the double. The Twins are threatening again with 1 out. Allen hasn't retired anybody. And Miguel Sano looking for his first hit.
Close ball games, 9 of them decided in the last at bat.
Sano trying to make it 10 games out of 21. Hit the ball hard his last time up, lining out to the left fielder Brantley. Breaking ball on the outside corner, strike 1.
I don't think Snow liked that call. Allen starting him off with that curveball. Good pitch.
One and one. So important for the Indians to get Sano if he walks, and he can do that. He's got a good eye. And Arcia would come up with one out, the bases loaded. Everybody would have to come in. Lace to center field. Dozier around third, and the Twins walk off the Indians again.
Two curveballs, a fastball. Sano lines it in the left center. And they're all jumping on the big man.
And the Twins have recovered nicely from a heartbreaking walk-off loss in D.C. on Sunday by fashioning a couple of walk-off wins of their own.
Big hit right there for Miguel Sano.
And the Twins last night got the first run allowed this year by Zach McAllister. And the closer for the Indians didn't retire a batter in the ninth today.
What a solid swing right there. Beautiful swing. Dozier scores the winning run.
And Dozier with his third hit of the night, all of them going to right field, a double, setting up eventually Sano for a walk-off hit. And Marnie Gellner, as she did last night, has the hitting hero in front of the Twins dugout.
Yes, congratulations, Miguel Sano. When you're standing there at the plate with one out, those two guys on, it's not coming yet. What was your strategy?
You know, he got a don't pitch my way, and then he told me to first pitch slider, and I be ready for fastball and try to hit the ball hard to the middle.
That was your first hit of the night. What had you learned in your previous at-bats leading up to this?
You know, I learned like a respect in the game. You know, he got don't pitch my way like an MVP, all-star guy, and like a pitch me a rookie. So I feel like I'm gonna hit the ball.
And Oswaldo Arcia was on deck right behind you. Did you get any tips from Arcia on how to handle this situation there?
Yeah, he told me I finished the game tonight.
He told you. How does it feel to have done this 2 nights in a row, coming off a tough road trip, to get a little momentum back here now?
You know, I'm so really happy about that. You know, everything what I do here is for you, fan here, for my fan from Minnesota.
Thank you so much. Gracias. Congratulations.
All the time.
All right, the game-winning hit tonight comes from the bat of Miguel Sano, and we're celebrating again at Target Field. Tom Hanneman.
Target Field, Marnie, has become a walk-off wonderland for the Twins as Miguel Sano comes through in the clutch. His first walk-off hit. And the Twins find a way to win again tonight, taking this series and doing it again in walk-off fashion. Up next on Twins Live, Jack Morris joins me to break it all down.